Hey everyone, today it's June 1st and I would like to show you all the books that I read in May and also my TBR for June. May wasn't a really good reading month for me. I was really busy with school. I only read 3 books, 1 play, and I'm reading my 4th book at the moment, but I'm only on page 16, so I won't be finishing that anytime soon. So I would like to show you all the books that I read. I started this month with reading Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I already talked a bit about this one in my book haul. I immediately read it after I bought it. It's a classic. It's set in the 19th century. It's written in 1800 something. And it's a story about love, about hate between different families, about people that change. It's kind of hard to give a synopsis as it follows 2 families over quite a long period of time. I couldn't get into it very easily, but the last 100 pages really turned into a page turner for me. I was really excited to read the end and I got very interested in the characters in the end, and the character development in this story is really well done. So I quite like this book. First, I read a play called The Crucible. I don't have it here as I read it for school and I already had to give it back. I won't talk very long about this play as it was a school assignment, so I didn't choose to read it. It's about witch hunt. It was okay. It was very short, so I could finish it very quickly, which was good. Next, I read De Koning by Kader Abdullah. This is a Dutch book. De Koning means the king. It's written by Kader Abdullah. He's a Dutch writer who flew from Iran as he had a different opinion than the government, and I really wanted to read one of his books. I read this for my Dutch class, but I could choose between a few books, and it is called a novel, but it's actually more of a non-fiction historical book. It's about Iran or Persia in what century was it? I think in the 19th century. Yeah, it's about Iran in the 19th century, and it wasn't really exciting. There's no real plot or anything, but yeah, I read this. Afterwards, I read The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I don't have it here as I immediately lent it to my neighbor because I was really enthusiastic about it and she wanted to read something as she's already finished with school. I really enjoyed this book. I also talked quite a while about this one in my book haul, and I won't give you a real synopsis as it's fairly short. You can read it in a few hours, I think, and I think a synopsis would spoil it, but just let me tell you, it's really good. Reagan from Prue's Project described it as a sort of modern day fairy tale or myth, and I think that's a wonderful way to describe it, as that's exactly what it is. It's just very wonderful and lovely, and the language is beautiful, so you should definitely check it out. Afterwards, I started reading 1984 by George Orwell. Don't you love this edition? I got it at Waterstones, as you can see from the bookmark. I bought this about a year ago and I never started it. I don't know what held me back, but I was just kind of scared to read it. I'm only like 60 pages in, so it will take me quite a while to finish it, as it's not a very easy read, but I'm enjoying it a lot already, so yay! Then for my TBR for the month of June, a lot of people have already uploaded their summer reading TBR or reading plans. I wish I could upload mine too, but summer doesn't start for me until like the 25th or something. I still have exams. These 3 last weeks are very busy school wise, so I won't be able to read a lot. I'm planning on finishing 1984. I hope that I'll finish it within a week or something. Afterwards, I'm planning on reading Uglies, the first book in the Uglies series by Scott Westerfeld. This is quite an old series. I got this one for my birthday as some of my friends really like it and I wanted to read it. It's a YA dystopian series, I think. It takes place in a society where you turn from an ugly into a pretty when you turn 16, but there's also an outside world where you don't have to turn into this pretty. And it's about 2 two friends, Tally and Shay doesn't want to be turned into a pretty and she'd rather live in the outside world. As it is a YA first book in a series, I think it's not too difficult to read, which is exactly what I'm looking for when I'm studying for exams at the same time. I don't want to read a very difficult classic or something that I have to pay a lot of attention to, and I think this is just an easy book. If I like uglies, I will probably buy Pretties, which is this one. It's the second book in the series, and then I will perhaps read that one this month. I'm also planning on reading The Age of Miracles by Karen Thompson Walker. I never talked about this book before, but it's one of my favorite books of all time. I read it last summer and it totally made my summer, if you know what I mean. It's just a very, 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 very wonderful book. One day the world finds out that the rotation of the earth has slowed down, which has major consequences, and this book is just a very wonderfully written book about well, all the consequences this has, and also the different way people deal with all the changes they have to make in their lives. It's just really, really good, and I want to read this after my exam week just to treat myself, as I really, really enjoyed reading this book last year. I read it in Dutch, so I'm looking forward to reading it in English. But this was my May wrap up and June TBR. I hope to read some more books in June, but these are just the books that I still like reading at the moment. What books have you read in May, and what books are on your June TBR? Have you read any of these books I just mentioned, and whether you think of them, that you like them, didn't you like them, and are there any books you want me to talk about a little bit more? Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!